morning anchor, but also medical reporter. And with that medical reporter job, I get to meet some amazing people who have remarkable stories to share. This is such a neat time of year with Thanksgiving just around the corner. And our next guest is so very thankful for his medical team at Memorial Hermann Southwest Hospital, who he says absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, saved his life. It's such an intriguing story. Wait until you find out more. Without further ado, let's bring in Dennis M. Hyams Jr. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Of course, Melissa. Thank you very much. What a great day to be here. I appreciate your time.
And well, we are so thankful that you are alive, you are well, and you were able to talk to us. So I want to start everybody from the beginning, because a lot of times when we don't feel good, we say, oh, I think I'll just stay in bed and I'll call the boss, see if I can have a day off. For you, you couldn't have picked a better day to go in to work when you weren't feeling well. So tell us what happened back in May. It started with some odd symptoms that weren't too alarming, right?
Yeah, they weren't, like typical heartburn,
Hmm.
indigestion. We live in a world where we always take a pill, right? And so it was early Monday morning, took a pill. I was ready, well, I'll just go into work anyway. And as I came into work, I still had the indigestion and wasn't going away. And one of my coworkers said, hey, Dennis, your skin, you need some sun, and I was thinking he was just messing around with me, so I did my normal stuff. But the indigestion just wasn't going away. So I was taking some notes, and I'm just a data guy, right? So I'm writing all this down. It's not going away. And then I had another call right about 11 o'clock with a Zoom call. And that person said, hey, you're not feeling so well. I said, no. And then I had cold sweats. And he said, you need to see a nurse. And I said, no, I need to go to the ER. So pretty much at that point, Melissa, one of my teammates took me to the ER. From there, they checked me out. A lot of medical lingo, even though I work in hospitals.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking right. And so I ended up calling my wife. She was going out of town, bringing her back. And then within 24 hours, I was in the cath lab getting two stents placed in my heart, and not really knowing the true impact. Just didn't think it would happen to me, but it
Yeah.
did happen to me.
Well, and you are a security guard, the director of security, in fact, at that hospital, Memorial Hermann. And so, how amazing is it, do you think, that you were there on hospital property? Because your doctor says if you hadn't have, if you'd even waited a couple more hours, you would have maybe be looking at fighting your life, but certainly open heart surgery instead, because you went in at the right time, in the nick of time. They were able to do a more of a minimally invasive procedure. How big of a deal do you think all of that played in this?
It was huge, and I think the hard part, and we always read about these stories, and it's not me, right, Melissa? So
Hmm.
it's not me, it's always someone else. And so, but if we don't take care of ourselves, someone else will be doing that. And that's actually what happened that day. I took a moment to ask for help, and normally I'm in a position to support my team and help them. And here they were available, and I said, I need some help. And they helped guide me to the emergency department. And as you mentioned, with the cath lab team and all the great professionals, I've always been on the side of, you see all this great work taking place for our public, our community, and we don't get to use those services, or
Yeah.
I say we haven't used them that day, and the days following, I certainly did.
How shocking is it for you to think back that you were just thinking heartburn? Somebody tells you you look pale, you blow it off, that you were having a heart attack. I mean, does that still seem surreal to you to this day?
I think it comes and goes, Melissa. There's times where the reality sets in, and I just catch myself. Why am I really here? And then what more can I do? And I would say since that time, if you talk to my wife, she'll talk a lot more than me. She'll tell you just the extent, right, availability of my giving to others, and I've always been in a position to give to others. But this really puts a different spin on everything.
That is incredible. Okay. I also want to make sure that we bring up that wife. So I have pictures of her because you love to dance. And your doctor says that part of that, the reason that he felt like you prolonged this happening to your heart is because you are out there all the time. I mean, this is just remarkable to see you. How important is it for you to stay active and to be able to dance with the love of your life?
Well, it's been a challenge to learn to do something. And you've heard about people working together, their spouses, it either works or it
Mhm.
doesn't. And so we all started that, Melissa, with one night a week. And then one night became two, two became three. And so we really just took the effort to say, you know what, we can't get the gym together, right? So
Yeah.
why not do something that we can enjoy? So we find those opportunities. We've restarted all that now. We're back to several nights a week, and so we get that exercise, and it's heart healthy. All the steps we put in. We recently just put in over 12,000 steps going to one of our dance lessons and dancing. So it's very beneficial.
It's incredible. And I just think that, something that anything that we can do to stay busy right now. I did show a picture here and it looks like you've got a water bottle. So have you started walking? Have you started doing anything else of lifestyle
Oh
changes or
yes,
what has happened?
yeah. So that's one of the days while I was out riding my road bike.
Oh, you're riding.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was riding my road bike, and I also have my mountain bike, and try to do that throughout the neighborhoods and the areas. And so that was a great day for me, just improving my numbers and getting better all the time.
That is incredible. Okay, so let's go back to how faith played such a big role in getting through something like this. I know it had to be incredibly frightening, first of all, to find out what you were going through, but then you would have to have another procedure a month later. How did
Mhm.
that help build your strength and just make you feel comfortable and believing that your doctors would help you get through this?
Well, one of the great things about being here at Memorial Hermann Southwest, and what really intrigued me, I didn't even know this when I joined, was we have a chapel here. So I frequent the chapel, whether it's in the morning or afternoon, and then even leading up to this day um, of my heart attack. Just my prayers to God, and being thankful that I'm in the right place at the right time. And so during my stay after my procedures, I had visits by the chaplain and the chaplaincy to come through. And so the anointing for the sick, really believe in that. There's a whole heart, a full circle care, whether it's your own care of yourself to get better, your teams, your medical teams, and faith in general. So I thank God for being here today.
There we go. It's just incredible to be able to hear your testimony and know that made such a big difference in your life because I feel like people who don't understand that they may say, "Wait a second, I'm going to look more into it." So I think it's really powerful that you're able to share that. Okay, you just mentioned that medical team, so let's talk about your doctor. Our crews got to meet up with him, Dr. David Portugal, there at Memorial Hermann Southwest. Now, since you actually work at that hospital, had you ever met him or seen him or known him before, or was he the one who was assigned to you when you went in there with this big time life threatening emergency?
Yeah, no doubt, Melissa. No, I had not met him before. I'd met the HVI cardiology team,
Mhm.
Mario, who's the director over there. Laura's part of that team, and so through my rounding, I've done rounding across the campus, met them through other circles, and so this was a great opportunity. Whenever I was post-op, before the doctor comes in and reads you all the different things, was that Mario had shared. He's such a great cardiologist. What you had more or less would have been open heart surgery, but he's so good at what he does. It was non-invasive, and so
Mhm.
I joke a little bit. I have two marks on my arm, like a vampire, from the two procedures. So I'm scarred for life, but it's a memory that I'll always have from Dr. Portugal. So
Well,
it's
and think about how close you were to a different kind of scar. I've been in
Mhm.
the operating room for both procedures, and with open heart, I mean, it's a split from here to here. I mean, they're going down the chest, and I mean, it just has to feel so good to know that things were,
Yes.
recovery time is
Yeah.
huge. The difference between
Mhm.
the two, I just know you have to feel just so very thankful.
Yeah, the first one was several days in the hospital because of my initial shock to my heart and just going through all those changes. The second follow up, I think within 24 hours, I had my procedure. I was out and back doing what I needed to do. So the
Mhm.
dancing and my exercising, I think, are all contributed, as well as my cardiac rehab team that I spent many weeks going to, and I graduated with them. And so just great stuff, great programs.
Oh, it's beautiful to see. Okay, so you got to tell us what's for the future. I see that you're definitely, are you an Astros fan? Is that what I
I
see
am.
here?
Yeah. Yeah, just disappointed that he make it to the World Series,
Yeah.
but the energy's there, and I think Houston being such a hometown, at least in my life, through everything that I've done, it's great to see that and just be a part of the community and
Hmm.
as a whole.
Well, I think it's so important for people to realize their family history. I know that you certainly learned that in this. And talk a little bit about your family history. So you were only in your early 50s, mid 50s when this happened to you. And so people, I think, a lot of times are picturing somebody so much older. You look very fit. Obviously, you work out all the time. But how do you think your genetics played a role in all of this?
Well, Melissa, I don't know how you grew up. Like a lot of us, we've all heard our parents, grandparents tell us stories, right? And
Hmm.
so my grandfather, grandmother, no longer here on my dad's side of the family. When he was 55, he had a heart attack. It is pretty impactful. And so my dad is a younger brother of my uncle. My uncle, an avid runner for life. He is 55. He had a heart attack, but he will never admit it. My dad surpassed that, so he was all happy. Hey, it didn't happen to me, but it came to me, right? So just months shy of my 55th birthday, here I was not really thinking,
Yeah.
well, it could happen to me, but it did. And so I would encourage everyone, if you haven't heard those stories, find out your parents, your grandparents'
Hmm.
health history, at least to give you some insight to go to the doctor, get an assessment, check things out. They're not just stories. They're probably going to impact you someday.
Well, Dennis, I'm just so thankful that you are okay, that you're sharing your beautiful testimony. Thank you for taking time to talk to us
Sure.
and for sharing this, and
Sure.
only good health to you from now on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay,
Thank you
take
so
care of
much.
yourself, and
All right,
thank
Melissa.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
All right.
And I just want to remind everybody you can join me right here on Wednesdays, 12:30, the place to be. You can always go to our YouTube page, Fox 26's YouTube page, to get all of my Lunch for the Souls. It's important to have you here to be able to share these beautiful blessings with you. And I hope to see you back.